so now I'm going to show you how you set up your papers for this illusion in your lesson. You're going to need red copier paper. And on one of those papers, you're going to have drawn your heart. I did this on the computer. You can do it by hand. The scripture that you want to use will go on that one heart. But you need to have 2 sheets of the paper because you want 2 identical hearts. I usually staple these together so that when I cut them out, they will be identical. And making sure that I cut inside that dark line because I don't want that to be seen later. For the sake of this demonstration, I have decided to use 1 white and 1 red copier paper, only because this will make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. But you want to do 2 reds. That's going to be very important. So I have stapled around here just to hold them in place. You can do it by hand if you want to, but this makes it very secure. And I cut inside that black line. And while I cut this out, I want to remind you that this is just an excellent way to present all those wonderful lessons that you'll have on love, the scriptures of love and loving one another and what is love and how do we treat people in a loving way. There's just lots and lots of ways that you can use this lessons. So the children are going to beg you to know, how did you do that? I want to caution you, don't tell them. Just tell them that this is a trick, this is an illusion, but you can't explain it to them because you're going to want to use it again. And if they know about it, then you're not going to be able to use it. And that word will get out fast. Everybody will be telling everybody else about how you did it. And I also want to tell you, let's don't pretend we're magic. You don't tell them that this is magic. We want them to know that this is a trick, it's an illusion, it is not real. But we're not going to tell them our trick. What we want to tell them that even though this is an illusion, it is a trick, God's love is not an illusion. It is not a trick. It is real. So let them know that you're not doing any magic. You're just telling them the truth. All right, so I have 2 identical hearts, except for this one's white, for our demonstration purposes. We're going to fold the one that has the scripture on it. And the way that we do this is we're going to fold it in half. The very first fold is straight in half, down like that. Very easy to do. Our goal here is to make a square shape, kind of square, kind of rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to take this pointed end, and I'm going to, let's see how I can do that. I think I'll go right up there to where that curve of the heart, that little indentation right there. So if you can see that, fold it in half, then back up again. So now let's take the curved part and fold it down. I can fold it all the way down to that bottom edge. And I like to think of this as kind of like a little envelope shape. So let me repeat that. You can see it. We've got the tip that comes up to the top, and then we folded this down. Again, it really doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to come up with kind of a square or a rectangle shape. Now I have this curved part right there. All I have to do now is just fold that back down to the other flat side. So we folded that down to the other side. And you see we've got that little square shape. Take the glue and rub that on there really good because you do not want that to fall off in the middle of your lesson. That would totally ruin your lesson. So let's get that on there good. And then I will take the heart without any words on it. And because I am right-handed, I have found it very, the best place for me to put it on is the left-hand corner. So I'm assuming if you're left-handed, you might want to put it on the other side. I've never tried that before, so I don't know. But I'll put that up there. And you see I'm trying to, and I probably should have looped, I think I'll even try that now, to move it over just a little bit more because we want about an inch of paper left around there. This is what we're going to use to hem our torn pieces in later. So we have to leave a little bit of space around there. You're going to probably see through this pretty good because of the white paper, but you need to make sure that when you're doing this with the children, they can't see through. So make sure when you're standing in any position in the room that it's not where the light can get through, and show that. Put it right there in front of you, and use these fingers to kind of disguise that. You're holding it like that. On the backhand side, you've got your thumb holding that in place. So so that helps them not to be able to see through it, and also keeps those pieces secure. Then you're going to just take that paper, tear it in half, as you talk about how sin broke God's relationship with man, or it could be another negative aspect of what might happen in a sinful world. Doing unto others as you would have them to do unto you is a good scripture we could use. You could talk about how sinful behavior can hurt people. You can name those sinful behaviors, and then as you're talking, you're tearing them more pieces, and you're layering them up on top of the square that you have in back. You see, we're just going to layer them on top of that part. You see that I'm kind of twisting around there. So now you still have that inch that I was talking about that can hem those parts in. So when you're talking about how God He started mending broken things, you're folding those pieces back over. All the torn pieces are under the hem that you are folding over, and you're talking to the kids as you're doing this, and so all they see is that you're just kind of putting it back together. But they haven't seen the back, have they? They haven't seen the side yet of the whole heart. But as you're talking, you kind of subtly, pressing down. Remember, this is going to be red. It all looks the same. But while you're talking, you kind of flip it over like that. Now the torn pieces are facing you, and the whole heart, folded whole heart, is facing your children. So when you talk about the way that God mended the brokenness, you're going to be unfolding the whole heart. And that torn heart is hidden behind as you open it up. And this is what they see. On back is your torn pieces that have been folded back together. Isn't that cool? Kids are going to love it. And there's such a wonderful way you're keeping them still, you're keeping them quiet, you're holding their attention while you're telling them very important spiritual truths. And when you end it with this is the punch that you end it with, that verse. I think it's a way that you're going to teach them in a way that they are not going to soon forget. So I hope that you will use it for a lot of scriptures. Keep it a secret. Do not tell. And just enjoy having this wonderful object lesson to use with your children.